And he called on Justice Department investigators to focus on crimes on the other side, meaning Democrats and the Hillary Clinton camp. It's a disgraceful situation.It's a total witch hunt. I've been saying it for a long time. I've wanted to keep it down. I've given over 1 million pages in documents to the special counsel, he said. They continued to just go forward, and here we are talking about Syria. We're talking about a lot of serious things. And I have this witch hunt constantly going on for over 12 months now. Actually, it's much more than that. You could say right after I won the nomination it started. When I saw this, when I heard about it, that is a whole new level of unfairness. Trump even blamed investigators allowed a raid on his attorney's office for spoiling what could have been an up day on the stock market. The stock market dropped a lot today as soon as they heard the noise of this nonsense that was going on. It dropped a lot, Trump complained. It was up, it was way up. It dropped quite a bit at the end. That we have to go through that. We've had that hanging over us from the very beginning. And yet the other side, they're not even looking. And the other side is where there are crimes, and those crimes are obvious lies under oath all over the place, emails that are knocked out, that are acid washed and deleted. 33,000 emails were deleted after getting a subpoena from Congress. And nobody bothers looking at that. Trump granted. The rate appears most likely to be related to Cohen's $130,000 payment to Daniels days before the election, but the FBI, Mueller, the Department of Justice and the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York all declined to comment on the purpose. Bloomberg reported that Mueller had gone to Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General who oversees his probe, with information which Rosenstein decided to refer to the Manhattan U.S. Attorney. The raid prompted a furious response from Cohen's own attorney, who said that privileged communications had been seized. Today, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York executed a series of search warrants and seized the privileged communications between my client, Michael Cohen, and his clients, said Stephen Ryan. I have been advised by federal prosecutors that the New York action is, in part, a referral by the Office of Special Counsel Robert Mueller, he said. The decision by the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York to conduct their investigation using search warrants is completely inappropriate and unnecessary. It resulted in the unnecessary seizure of protected attorney-client communications between a lawyer and his clients. Mueller is overseeing the probe of contacts between Russians and the Trump campaign. CNN reported that President Trump had watched TV broadcasts of the FBI raid on his longtime personal attorney and that he knew about the raid before the news came out. Daniels is suing to have a non-disclosure agreement she and Cohen signed whereby she agreed not to disclose any details of a relationship with Trump. Cohen says he made the payment with his own funds and without Trump's knowledge. Bank records have revealed he set up a Delaware LLC called Essential Solutions just weeks before the payment was made to Daniels from the LLC. The LLC was set up on October 17, 2016, the same day that Daniels' manager Gina Rodriguez was reportedly trying to sell the porn star's story to the media. Some 10 days later, Essential Solutions paid Daniels $130,000 after she signed an agreement not to talk about Trump. The agreement used pseudonyms David Dennison for Trump and Peggy Peterson for Daniels. Agents seized tax documents and business records as they raided the Loews Regency Hotel on Park Avenue, where Cohen had been staying, and his office in 30 Rockefeller Plaza, just above NBC's studios. The raid comes just days after Trump made his first comments on the porn star aboard Air Force One Thursday and denied any advance knowledge of the payment that appeared to benefit him and his campaign just days before the 2016 election. Asked if he knew about the payment, the president said no. Asked why Cohen made the payment, Trump said, "Michael is my attorney." "You'll have to ask Michael." Then, asked by reporters on Air Force One if he knew where the money came from, Trump said, "No, I don't know." Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, is suing for relief from a non-disclosure agreement that her lawyer claims is null and invalid. Daniels' lawyer, Michael Avenatti, has been keeping the story in the news, now claiming he has a forensic sketch of a man who threatened her to keep quiet in 2011. Avenatti said Cohen has been placed in the crosshairs by Mr. Trump. He has been set up to take the fall. He also filed court papers Sunday to try to force Trump to answer questions about the agreement. Avenatti is seeking a jury trial and wants sworn testimony from Trump and Cohen about the payment made to Daniels days before the 2016 presidential election as part of a non-disclosure agreement she is seeking to invalidate. The White House kicked out 60 Russian diplomats following the poisoning of a former Russian spy in Britain and leveled new sanctions on Russian entities. The raid immediately raised issues of attorney-client privilege. Cohen was the president's personal lawyer during the presidential campaign, which means their communications are assumed to be beyond the reach of law enforcement and the courts. A critical loophole exists, however, the crime-fraud exception. That allows prosecutors to use privileged material if it shows a client intended to further or cover up a crime. Because of the usually sacrosanct nature of attorney-client communications, the FBI will likely use a taint team to keep prosecutors from seeing anything privileged that could later cause a criminal conviction to be voided.